See, when you get beyond being stuck on stupid, and when she says something like that, and you feel like you gotta say something back, well, you ain't all that yourself. You got a problem with me, I got a problem with you. Shut up. Look her right in the eye and say, baby, I hear what you're saying. I hear your affirmation of my capacity and my ability and how much you believe in my capacity to address all of your needs. I want to concur in your assessment of my person, my power, and my promise. And I do agree with you that under the present circumstances, I'm not fulfilling every requirement that you've established. But baby, I am the man and I still got the power. You just hang in there because you ain't seen nothing yet. See, that's what God does. When you start complaining to God, God, but I hear you. You think I hear a complaint. I'm hearing you say, I believe in you, God. And I can't handle what's going on in my life right now. And God, I don't want to talk to somebody who can't fix it. I believe in you so much, God. I'm coming to you. Don't you care if we perish? And then the divine's response is to say, I hear you. Peace. Yes, sir. He speaks to the waves and the storm and says, chill. But then he turns to you. Come on, it's the last thing. Come on. He says, now the waves are calm. Where's your faith? All right. Because I'm not talking about you didn't have faith in me. But you had a conditional faith, not a relational faith. And you don't know how to chill in a storm. Oh, you miss it. Your faith is predicated on you getting the outcome that you desire. Rather than trusting me enough to realize no matter what's going on, I got the power. This Christmas, a lot of my grandchildren were home, and they were in there. They got a PS4, and they were in there raising the ruckus. And I went in there and I said, now y'all got to sit down. Y'all got to do this. One of my grandsons, when you got 8 years old and 5 years old and all these different age groups together, you're going to have all kind of stuff. One of them, and my 15-year-old came and put his arm around my neck and said, Papa, chill. We got this. Come on. Well, see what God is trying to say to you. Look. You get happy when I calm the storm. But you will never be where I want you to be until you got enough faith to be calm in the storm. Because the storm is not in the water. The storm is in you. And if you don't grow enough in your faith that you can be calm even when the tempest is raging, every time there is a storm, you will be just like you were today. Chill. Because you are allowing what's coming at you to determine what comes from you. Wow. And when that happens, what's coming at you is now in you. Wow. See, when what's coming at you defines what comes from you, it means that what's coming at you is now in you, and there's no spirit or power coming from you. You are what's coming at you. And that's called possession. A power other than God has got you. Because you are not defined by the God that is in you. Your behavior is determined by the trouble that's coming at you. So when someone comes nasty, you get nasty. Wow. Let me see if I can make it plain. One time, I was in New York and someone was kind enough, Bishop, to pick me up in a car, and it was hot outside. So as soon as I got in the car, what did I do? Rolled the window down. Huh? And the man that was driving, I said, "Sir, would you please roll the window back up?" He said, "This is a climate-controlled vehicle. And if you roll the window down, what's on the outside will determine the temperature on the inside." All right. And I want to suggest, when you're going through the storm, don't roll the window down. So that what's on the outside starts controlling what's on the inside. Because you'll become just like the outside. Where is your faith? Shift. Do you see it? If we're going to move forward, our faith has to increase. Where our testimony is not just about what we get, because the storm is calm. It's when we have the peace that passes human understanding, even in the midst of the storm. Well, where is your faith? Is your faith in what Jesus does for you? Is your faith in the relationship you have, where you're absolutely certain that in the storm, I say yes? In the storm, I say yes, Lord. Because no matter what's going on, God, I know you got this. My grandson said, "Chill, Papa. We got this." This young lady in the little church I pastored, she was in her early 30s and was diagnosed with liver cancer. Got into her pancreas, and they did surgery, and they closed her right back up. And they said to her, we're not going to do any surgery because it's inoperable, and you have about 6 months to live. I went and prayed for her, and she must have saw the consternation on my face. And here's a 30-year-old woman I'm supposed to be helping because she's got 2 young children. And she says to me, "Pastor, God's got this." And every time I would see her, God's got this. And let me tell you something. They said she would be dead in 6 months. She lived 5 more years and refused to take the treatment that they told her that would prolong her life for a few months. She just said, "Doc, God's got this." And her dying breath was what? God's got this. You know why God had this? Because God had her. And if you connect and commit and God's got you, chill. I don't know what's going on in your life. Chill. God's got this. Got your babies. Got our communities. Got our world. So guess what? I'm going home tonight and chill. I like to tell stories.
Come on, Dave.
I like to tell stories, y'all. You know, and I grew up with a grandfather who would sit down and tell me stories. And they were always stories. You want to know something? Like the bear came out of the woods and went down and stole the corn, and then he went boogity, 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 boogity. Come on. I got a little creative, so I start telling my grandchildren, about 7 of them with me one day this summer, and I start telling them stories. But I made up stories. Well, hey, I'm from West Virginia. And so I remember reading about, if y'all watch the Discovery Channel, or some of the time they searching for Bigfoot in West Virginia. And they got all these monsters in West Virginia they trying to find. You know, the trap gets broken, they never catch them, but there's some sure evidence they there. Huh? So I start telling them, in West Virginia where I grew up, there were monsters about 6 foot tall, and they 8 foot tall, and they were hairy, and they had a bad odor, and they had these teeth, and they drooled all the time, and their eyes were red, and at night they turned green, and they loved to get little children. And here they migrated to Virginia, to our neighborhood. Let's go outside and see. Man, my kids scared to death. lap, hugging all over me. No, Papa, Papa, no. Oh, Papa, Papa, Papa. And all of a sudden I realized that what I had done and figured I didn't want to be that scared. And so I had to have a redemptive aspect to the story. So I said, yes, but one day this monster, a little boy, wasn't scared of him. And he gave him a big apple. And the apple was so sweet that the monster left West Virginia and went to the North Pole to help Santa Claus make toys. 3 days later, they're back at the house again, and so they say, Papa, tell us a story. I start telling them a different story. They say, no, tell us the same old story. Y'all missed something. If it's the right story, I don't care how many times I hear it. Tell the same story. So I start telling the story, and Papa's trying to be decent. I don't want to hurt him again. I don't want to be scared. So I said, okay, and I left the scary part out. I left all that part about he didn't like children and had teeth. I went straight, and my granddaughter Elise said, Papa, that's not how the story goes. Tell the whole story. Tell the scary part of the story. Tell the whole story. And I said, why? I thought she was going to do it because she was getting at her little brother who was scared to death. Here's what my granddaughter said to me. Papa, you can handle the scary part when you know how the story ends. What am I trying to tell you? Sometimes it gets scary down here.